Hi guys! So today I'm going to be reviewing Yes Please by Amy Poehler, and I think it looks like I have Harry Potter books on the top of my head, but we're just gonna go with it. So Yes Please is obviously Amy Poehler's first book, and I got this, I was super excited to read it because I love Amy Poehler, and to start off, I think I would give this a 4 out of 5, so I really liked it, and here's why. This book chronicles basically her entire life. It goes from her being born to her working at Parks and Recreation. And so it goes through, it spends a lot of time at SNL, it spends a lot of time talking about Upright Citizens Brigade, her life, her history with improv. Now this is a pretty quick read. I read this in less than 24 hours, and I wasn't planning on doing that. There's lots of pictures in it, which is nice because the pictures kind of go along with whatever she's talking about. And I think the chapters are divided up nicely as well. A couple of things that bothered me about this is the fact that there's a lot of name dropping. And when I say name dropping, I don't mean just listing off famous people she's met or dropping them into anecdotes that don't really that they don't really serve a purpose, but she talks about all of these people, especially when it comes to SNL or Upright Citizens Brigade, that are, the SNL people are so behind the scenes, and I don't mean that in a bad way where their job's unimportant. It's just, you know, there's so many people that go into SNL and really any movie or TV show that do tons of background work that no one knows their name of. And so they're all mentioned in here, and which is fine because I feel like what she's saying is very in-depth, and that's why their names are mentioned. But I don't know who they are, and I'm not about to go research like 50 different people that she name drops in here. So that was kind of weird. It didn't bother me, but I just, you know, it's hard when you're reading through a paragraph and something like a really funny thing happens and you don't know who it is that she's having this funny thing with because you don't know who they are. So that was kind of a downside. The other downside I thought was kind of weird was she has a section written by her parents, I believe, and she has a section written by Seth Meyers, and there might be someone else too. Which just seemed kind of weird because it's her book. A lot of people I saw on Goodreads and stuff were reviewing this, and they didn't like it because really throughout the whole book, but especially the first chapter or two, she's talking about how difficult it is to write a book. And they said that it seemed like she didn't really want to write this with all the complaining she did about writing it, and how she sometimes, while she was writing this, regretted the decision to write a book. I don't know why she included that in here, but it didn't bother me. I think she was either being completely honest, or she was using that as a kind of funny thing that keeps going throughout the entire book about how, you know, she doesn't want to write it, which I thought was kind of funny. I think maybe it just depends on your sense of humor, but I think it was meant in a funny way. And so a lot of people, I think, took that really seriously, and they were like, why is she even writing a book if she's complaining that she doesn't want to write it, or she doesn't have time, or what have you. So that was kind of interesting. That didn't really bother me. Now, I'm going to compare this to Bossy Pants by Tina Fey, just because Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, they're kind of like peanut butter and jelly. You know, they go together. I am a huge fan of both of them. And I know people who read Bossy Pants and didn't really love Tina Fey. They just read it for a fun read. And I own a lot of Ellen DeGeneres books for that same reason. They're just funny, anecdote kind of things. Which I think Tina Fey's book did well. It combined her life story, so to speak, with a bunch of funny things, and her talking about different subjects like politics and whatever. Don't quote me on that, because I'm going off of when I read it, and I've only read it once, and that was when it came out, and I don't know when that was. but I think it was at least 3 years ago. I'm just kind of going off of what I remember, but this is what I have to say. I think maybe 40% of the people who buy this aren't going to like it because of the fact that it isn't a funny read. It doesn't make you laugh all the time. And it's not setting up jokes to then crack them and then have you laugh. It is really 95% her life story without anecdotes, without jokes. And I was kind of surprised by it. I was surprised by that it wasn't funnier. But at the same time, I really love Amy Poehler, and you learn a lot about her life in this book. So I did like that about it. But people who don't really love her and don't genuinely want to know more about her, I think are going to be very disappointed and bored by this, because it just goes really in depth and it's actually a pretty serious autobiography. So I hope that made sense. If you like Amy Poehler, I would definitely recommend getting this. You learn a lot, there's really funny pictures in here, and her writing is very, very good. I would definitely try to get this book on Amazon or some other way, because the day it came out, I went to Barnes & Noble and it was like $30, which is ridiculous, I think. And in the cover too, it's retailed at $28.99. So I got it for like $21 on Amazon, and a lot of my relatives are happy that I got it because they all want to read it. So it was a good purchase, and I do recommend it if you like Amy Poehler. Alright, you guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this book review, and I will talk to you later.